Hello everyone. In this video, I'll talk about how I like to play against Sylas. I'm going to talk about the laning phase, which runes, items and summoners to take. I am a Challenger Z main on EU West who peaked 1200 LP this season. If Z matchup guides and montages interest you, do subscribe since I'll be making that kind of content for now. I also stream high elo EU West Z gameplay on Twitch, so check out the description for that. For runes, I like to go Conqueror because I think it gives the most kill pressure, especially after level 6. Presence of Mind, since it scales the most, or scales the best rather. Alacrity, better than these two. Once you complete it, everything becomes smoother. Last Stand, because it applies more often to various situations in the game that you'll be involved in. Secondary runes, you can kind of just go whatever you want. I like to go Sorcery with Transcendence for the early game, so once you finish Hydra, you'll have 10 extra haste, which helps with your WEQ and then Qing again, right? You can get that extra Q from the shadow much more often. It's just easier. Nimbus Cloak is to sort of cheese him and kill him with Ignite and run him down, since it's very common, I think, as Z versus Sylas to do that. Obviously you want to go Adaptive MR because Sylas is a magic damage champion. You can also go Electrocute. I personally don't because I hate Electrocute and I don't think Electrocute is that good on Z. But in this matchup, because Electrocute has always been kind of decent against Sylas, you can take this rune page, the OG sort of rune page, the old one I guess. You know, Taste of Blood and Scorch is quite good. You know, even Electrocute against Sylas. It's always been good, kind of. But yeah, I wouldn't, but this is like the second one that I would go. And then there's the First Strike page, which I think is not good against Sylas because he's a champion that you can actually fist fight early and win. But if you go First Strike, then it's much less likely for you to win any of the trades and stuff, and it's just a bit more awkward. I think you're just going to stunt yourself compared to the other rune pages, especially the Conqueror page that I like to run. So this page, take this. With that being said, if you like going Ghost as a summoner spell instead of Flash, then I believe going Inspiration second with Magical Footwear and Cosmic Insight is superior, because Nimbus is not as strong when you take Ghost instead of Flash. Since Ghost is already going to give you movement speed, I don't think Nimbus is so necessary. So this helps. This will put your Ghost on a lower cooldown, and Free Boots is decent as well. For summoner spells, I always like taking Ignite against Sylas, so always take Ignite in my opinion. And from there you have two options. Actually there's three options. You could go Ignite Teleport. I wouldn't go Ignite Teleport. I like going Ignite Flash or Ignite Ghost. I think having Ghost and Flash to run him down is quite important. It's quite good. Or Ghost or Flash, right? And if you, as I said earlier, if you take Ghost and Ignite, you want to take Inspiration second, and if you take Flash and Ignite, you take Sorcery second with Nimbus and Transcendence. I recommend all of you to take Flash though, because Ghost is a bit harder to pull off. Level 1, most Sylases will start E, so just assume that it's the best start as Sylas against Z. So if they start E, then you're going to want to stay around your backline minions kind of. You know, you can walk a bit past them to try and bait his E, and then if he E's forward, you walk back behind like I did there. That's a good thing you want to do against Sylas, you know, playing the minions, try to make him miss his E2, and then you can fuck him up with the trade. Always hold your Q, don't try to Q him in my opinion, just Q the CS if you need to get the CS, and stick to your minions. If you have Q on cooldown, then he's gonna like go in with his E and then he'll get a lot of damage down even if he misses his E2. So it's good to hold your Q till you know that he's gonna, you know, if he jumps in, then you can line your Q up much easier that way. So level 1, that's how you want to play. If he starts Q, then you can actually get push, I think, a lot easier. So if he starts Q and you see him Q you, then you can just start pushing the wave a bit more and get some prio. Because I think if he starts Q, he's pretty much trolling. But most of the time they'll start E, and then you'll want to, you know, play around your backline minions, kind of, you know, just walk a bit past them, and then he'll try to E in, and then you walk back, and then if he E2s into your minion, you know, he's going to jump even closer to you, then you'll be able to get the autos in, the Q in, and you'll win the trade. So that's how you want to play level 1. Level 2 is similar, I guess, you know. You would want to go E second, level 2, in case he goes in. You'll probably still win the trade. You'll definitely win the trade if you dodge his E2. If you don't dodge his E2, then it's actually quite dangerous. You're going to want to extend the trade somehow. Levels 3, 4, and 5 I think are a bit more tricky. He has his Q now, so you're going to have to make sure that you dodge his E2 and his Q2. So the main thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to try and get the wave on your side. Or rather, you're going to want to fight when the wave is on your side, because you win all-ins, and you can usually run him down if he uses his spells on your side of the wave, or rather your side of the lane. So that's kind of how you want to do it. Level, I think it's a bit harder, level 3, but you can. Level 4 is easier, level 5 is easier to run him down if he's on your side of the lane and he uses his spells on you. Of course, you want to make sure he doesn't hit his E2 and his Q2, and then you will win the all-in pretty easily. So for those levels, just try to bait his E in like with the method I said before. If he messes it up, then you can get a good trade, and then you repeat that until he's killable, and you can run him down with, you know, Ignite and Nimbus, all of that good stuff. Also, if he a lot of Sylases love to EW straight away. So if you're both like 50% HP, or you have 50% HP and he's like 40% or something, then he might want to just EW to trade against you. So if you can predict that and ignite him as he EWs, then you'll probably just kill him after that, because the Grievous Wounds from Ignite is very good against his W. So that's good for probably level 5, where he has 2 points in W or 3 points in W, and he's gonna heal a bunch, right? So something to keep in mind. Another thing you can do is you can use your W backwards to trade. So if he goes for an EW, as I was saying, you can use your W, maybe put it behind the minions, but it's still in range for the Q to hit him. You know, you W, you Q, you auto E, and you just take the W and you keep running. Or you can do it without the minions, and as you run, you're going to want to, you take the W, and then you're going to want to sidestep because he's going to E2, right? So a lot of Sylases love to do EW and then they E. That gives you more time to, get the auto E off. You get the W, the Q, auto E off, and then you take the W and you run away. That's a way to do the backwards W combo to trade, and I think it's pretty decent most of the time. After level 6, I think you should only fight and take all-ins against him when you have Ignite, because his W is going to heal a lot now. And the way it works is if he has Z ult, then, let's say you both have Z ult, the one who ults first is the one who usually wins, mainly because the person who ults second is a sitting duck, right? Right after they come out of ult. And you're going to want to save your W for after you ult as well. So it's important to ult him first, provided there's space to take the fight, right? He's not close to his tower, or there's no one else around. Then you take, let's say you take the all in, you ult first, you ignite him, you auto, maybe he does E and then he ults you, but when he ults you, you know exactly where he's going to be, so you can WQ, line up all the W's. You can take your ult shadow as well, bring him back there, so it's a bit easier to line it up. There's a lot you can do, but the main thing is that it's easy to line it up against the person who's ulting second. And if he ults first and then you ult second, it's he's gonna E ult and then you ult him, but then he's gonna E you, right? So he's gonna hit you. The thing about the ult thing is, whoever ults second is going to be a sitting duck. Another thing I like to do, especially after level 6 against Sylas, is push the wave and then, go into fog with sweeper, maybe on the dragon side or baron side, whichever side, right? And then for the next wave that comes in, you know, you don't want to show, and then Sylas might use his abilities on the wave to push, because maybe he would think that you recalled, but you're actually in the bush, and because of how Sylas is and how he needs to use all his abilities on the wave to clear, it's very similar to Akali as well. Like this method of just pushing and then going into the bush, sweeping and waiting. You know, these champs that have to use their spells to clear the wave, like Sylas and Akali, you can kind of punish that if you just wait, and then if he uses E, in Sylas's case, if he uses E and Q and W, you know, you just go in, you can kill him easily, especially if he has no E. That's the only thing that could mess up your shadows, or sorry, your Qs. So yeah, that's something I like to do. In general, fights after level 6 against Sylas, you're going to want to wait for his E to be down. So if he wastes it in any way, if he E's and then tries to E you and misses, then that's a window to go in, because you can always, you know, you can do W, E, Alt, Q, W to get everything out if he has no flash. That's a good combo to use when he has no flash and no E. You know, it's all about his E basically. And then obviously later on in the side lane, you can do the method about pushing and then, you know, going into fog and waiting in the bush. It's the same sort of method you can do there, because he's going to still have to use he's still going to use Q and E on the wave, I think. A lot of the Sylas players are not patient enough, so they would Q, and the Q would kill the backline minions, but it wouldn't kill, like their Q auto attack wouldn't kill the frontline minions, so a lot of them are impatient where they just Q auto, and then they E the frontline minions as well, so you can kill them like that pretty easy. In general, you outscale Sylas and you'll be much stronger in mid to late game team fights. Especially if he doesn't have any like good ults, which is a lot of games actually, so if he doesn't have like an Alistar ult, you should be chilling most of the time. For items, things are pretty standard. I think rushing Hydra against Sylas is very good, especially because of the thing I talked about earlier with how you want to push and go into fog. It's very good for that. It's very good for trying to poke him. It's just very good in general, especially against Sylas. And then if you get a lead, I think going Cleaver second is pretty good if you have a sizable, decent lead, so you don't die. You know, you won't lose your bounty. If you go Cleaver second, it's a lot harder to die, in my opinion. Other than that, you know, you want to go Duskblade second. Either way, you want to go either Cleaver Duskblade, or Duskblade Cleaver after Hydra, of course. And after that, it's pretty standard. You go Grudge into either Edge of Night or Serpents, depending on what you need. The main thing is rushing Hydra. I think that's the most important part. In summary, Sylas is a pretty easy matchup, provided you don't fall behind in the early few levels especially. I think that's the part where you can really mess up the most. If you get to like level 6, and you're even, I think things become a lot easier, and it's only going to get easier as the game continues, as said. So I think it's pretty easy in general from start to finish, as long as you don't make any mistakes. And yeah, that's basically it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. I hope it was helpful and all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.